Hey everyone, welcome to the EV Show by Ludicrous Feed Live. Today is Wednesday, the 7th of May 2025. Can you believe it's May already? Nuts, hey? Thanks so much for joining us this wonderful evening, wherever you might be watching from, Australia or around the world. We've got a huge show lined up for you tonight. The band is back together. Looking forward to introducing to you our regular guests and co-hosts. So yeah, stay tuned. Before we do that, just want to thank our sponsors as always, mycar, Tyre Auto, Hankook Driving Emotion, and also thank you to Carloop as well. Data to empower Australia's EV revolution. So nice of you to join us all. 67 viewers already. If you're watching us live, make sure you drop a comment, say g'day, and if you're watching us on replay, say hello as well in the comments. And if you're listening to us on audio podcast, hello as well. Welcome to the show. Well, let's turn the music down just a touch. By the way, this song has been composed by my son, Evan. He's very kind to compose this song for us for the intro, so thank you, Evan. Shout out to him. All right, well, let's say hello to, speaking of getting the band back together, here is Riz himself. Literally just hopped off a Bonza flight, I believe, Riz. How was first class?
I'm still in Bonza colors. I was at a board meeting. We had a board meeting up in the air, and I just landed. First class is pretty good when you're the only one on the plane. But, you know, we're back here. Looking forward to the show. Roland, he'll be on soon. Should be a very exciting one.
Should be good. Hey, Riz, you are literally the single-handedly bringing Bonza back from the dead. So, Australia thanks you.
That's it. That's what we've got to do.
Now, speaking of Roland, let's welcome him on the show. Hello, Roland from Zapped AU YouTube channel. How you going, Roland?
Good, thanks. How are you, Tom? Hi, all, and hi, Riz.
So nice to see you. If you haven't subscribed to Roland's channel, jump on it. Zapped, great content, lots of fast cars, lots of beautiful cars, mainly EVs. But yeah, we love Roland's style. That's why he's here with us. So glad you could be with us. Right, let's say hello to some of our regular guests on the live stream. Hello, Steve. Nice to see you from Central Coast, New South Wales. Hello, Mark, who's a regular as well. Hello, Backed. Oh, look, just also got my Sea Line 7 delivery yesterday. Congratulations, mate. Well done. Welcome to For the Burbs as well. And thank you to, back to saying he got got an Aurora white color, Sea Line 7. That's great. Looks like they're selling pretty well too. We'll touch on that very shortly. We are talking April 2025 sales, EV sales in Australia. So Riz has got all that information for us very shortly. Hello, EV Aaron Crofts, excuse me. Hello, Gene. Hello, Tassie EV. Hello, Midge. Hello, Adam. Hello, It's Only Dale from Canberra. Lots of EV5s and Sea Lines on the road. Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? Lots more EVs in general. Hello, Jason. Yes, indeed. Hope we're all well. Hello, Terry. Lots of regulars as well. Great to see. Hello, Tassie Tharsign. Hello. Hello, Lewis. Yes, we're all in East Coast, all the same time zone now, which makes it a lot easier for us as well. Hello, Justin. Nice to see you. Indeed. All right. Well, let's... here we go. Jason's got your YouTube channel linked there, Roland. So, yeah, make sure you jump on and subscribe to Roland's channel. Thanks, Roland. All right. So, Riz, we should probably catch up and ask you, how was your time off, wherever you were? Tell us.
Look, I spent about just over nearly 4 weeks out of the country. Tom, we caught up in Hong Kong. At the Xpeng brand night. That was quite interesting. A lot of commentary around AI and what they're working on. And then instead of coming to Melbourne, I jetted off in my Bonza plane and landed in Shanghai, and decided to spend a couple of weeks there just around the motor show, but also get a bit of a cultural experience and look at the stuff that we really enjoy and talk about: electric cars, chargers, and added a whole lot of other things on the back of it: robotics, flying cars, autonomous vehicles. It was quite a good experience, and it's unlike the traditional, the media trips. It was sort of up to me what I wanted to do. So yeah, got to be around the show, got a chance to catch up with yourself, Joy, and others that attended. And then, yeah, just did other things, went to car showrooms, had a look at different cars that, we all talk about on this show, on this podcast as well. And yeah, just the whole landscape is so different. every 3 or 4 months they have like, dozens of new models, and getting a chance to be up and close with them, which the Shanghai show is a great place as a starting point, but you don't always get a chance to get into the car because there's about 3 million live streamers trying to stream the same car, trying to get in at the same time, all having a bit of a shouting contest to see who's got a better live stream. So I went to the car showrooms and there was barely anybody at the showrooms. Like there were people around, but it was a lot easier to get in. And yeah, drove some of the more interesting cars, such as the BYD Seagull, the Zeekr 007 GT,
Oh,
and a couple of other more niche models, and got to see the BYD products with 1,000 kilowatt charging already in the showrooms only weeks after being announced. And just the whole experience was quite interesting. And anyone that's interested, just catch a flight, and
yeah.
it's a free travel. Go check it out for a couple of days, a week or so. It's just so easy, and everybody there is just so amazing. They, even with my dodgy translation app, they would still understand what I was trying to do. Usually, like, say, where's the train station and how could I get around? It was quite fun. So
Yeah.
definitely worth.
But Riz, you are Hollywood Riz, so people expected,
Yeah.
your reputation preceded you already, right? I'm sure.
Well, one of the days I didn't have I didn't have the tickets to one of the days at the auto show. And I was walking around, this, how big that place is, and literally walking around on the outside, and all of a sudden someone yells out, "Hey Riz, can't believe I'm meeting you here." It was a couple of guys from Car Expert that I used to be in touch with many years ago. And they were, they happened to be around and they couldn't get in either. So I was like, geez, if these guys can't get in, then I can't get in anytime. But it was still, yes, I did get called out a few times. But it's not like in Australia, where literally every Bonza flight I take, I get called out.
But you're right, Riz. Like we were there, Joy and I were there for this just the first media day, and yeah, we still caught up with a lot of Australians that we knew in the industry, like obviously yourself and other PR guys we knew, and even the fully charged guys. We saw Robert Llewellyn and Elliot as well, and a couple of other people. So so yeah, so it's kind of a small world in some ways. But yeah, no, Riz, you touched on the live streamers, right? Well, I was just saying to Joy, like they were doing 3 simultaneous live streams. Some of these people in Shanghai, so we were kind of like, well, we need to up our game a little bit with Riz and Roland, right? We need to do three live streams, 3 platforms at the same time. I thought one was pretty good already, once a week.
Well, if we're not, if by, I guess by June, if each one of us don't have one of those special tripods which can hold like 6 phones at the same time that are all
With
pointing
lighting.
and streaming. Yeah, with lighting.
Yep.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter who's walking in front of the car or whatever. You just keep yelling out whatever you need to yell out to your followers.
Yeah.
And remember, Tom, we experienced it for the first time at the Smart #5 global launch in Byron Bay, because they had a lot of the influencers and I guess car media people there, and there was a lot of passion in when they were presenting. So we got to see it firsthand.
Yeah, it's no joke. China time, China scale. It's just, whole new level. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I'm with Riz. You got to just jump on a flight to Shanghai or Shenzhen or Hangzhou. Just have a look for yourself. You won't believe it. It's just crazy. Yeah, I agree, Jason. Everyone knows Riz in Australia and Riz for PM. Yeah, maybe next election, Riz. We'll see.
Look, I was watching that election result pretty closely, sitting in my hotel room in a smaller city called Wuxi, which is about 140 odd kilometers from Shanghai. It's small because it's only got a population of about 8 million people. But it's so easy to get there with just a high-speed train that, is slower than most of the stuff we find at like 350 kilometers an hour. And just 45-50 minutes and you're there. So anyone that's interested that may not like the buzz of like huge cities, like mega cities like Shanghai or Shenzhen, land in Shanghai, catch a high-speed train to any of the cities around it, and you'll still have a pretty good experience. And And yeah, I think overall just worth doing.
100%. Yeah, great wrap up, Riz. Thanks for that. We'll try and get more out of Riz throughout the show. But let's jump on the story of the day, I guess, which is the April 2025 BEV sale numbers. Let me just put this up here. Sorry, 1 second, everyone. Here we go. So this is, article from Riz and Giles Parkinson from The Driven. And what are we now, Riz? 6.6% last month. So a little bit down from the month before, 7.5, but up from 6.4 same time last year. And yeah, look, Tesla sales are down. That's kind of no surprises given Model Ys haven't really been delivered yet. But let's go through some of these numbers, shall we, gents? So let's scroll down to the top 10 for 2025 April. Let's have a look.
So we've already had a few of our members joining us live that have picked up a Sea Lion 7. So second major month of Sea Lion 7 sales. Top the charts, of course, above Model Y and Model 3. Now, a couple of, we'll touch on Tesla stuff soon, but the other top 5, number 2 was MG4 with 363 sales. The Atto 3's bounced back a little bit, 355 sales. I have a feeling that is to do with the Essential series, the ones they launched in January. That was like $39,990 before on-road costs. It was a couple of $1,000s cheaper than what it was previously. They're starting to land. Kia EV5, another good month, over 340 sales. EV3, I think it's his first major month. They had a few cars in March, but this is sort of their first big month. 336 sales. BYD Seal, once again, doing pretty well, over 300 sales there. Geely EX5, 324 sales. This is the second month for EX5 sales, but it's the first full month because if we recall, it was launched on sort of March 11th. So March wasn't their full month. They sold about, I think, 190 or 189 in March and 324 in April, which brings it up to just over 500 sales in the first 2 months. At the same time, they've just announced that they've had 1,000 orders or pre-orders on the car. So let's just say half of those are already gone. They've already been delivered. That's what you're seeing in the charts for April and March. So I guess they have about 400 to 500 orders left. But what they have done is they have just announced another end of financial year special where they're giving a few bonuses. I think it's $2,000 gift card, or you can choose something else, and Volt Charger and a couple of other things. Anyone that's interested, just look it up on The Driven or Google. You'll find what that offer is. But maybe signs of things slowing down a little bit for Geely, or even though they've just launched. Obviously, Tom, you had a chance to look at some of the other products as well. So anyone that's interested, check out Tom's channel for some of the other products that are potentially likely to come, or those that Geely has that, you know, they may consider for the Australian market. And then we come to Tesla. So not a great month. Model Y, 280 sales. Model 3, 220 sales. Couple of points. So some of the things I'm about to say are pretty exclusive to Ludicrous Feed because I've just heard them from the head honcho at Tesla Australia today. First is there is a 3,500 car ship that has just docked, and customer deliveries will officially start before the end of this week. We've sort of touched on this. Roland's also shared some of the posts that people are putting up about delivery times, but it's confirmed it's happening. They've also announced that, they haven't announced, they've sort of let people know that the Model 3, the one of the reasons why the sales are a bit low in April for Model 3 as well is that the timing of the shipment just didn't work with that month. So they are also likely to be on the ships that are carrying Model Ys as well. So we will see a rebound for the Model 3 sales. That was my main concern when I first put this article together. We've got confirmation that there is more to the story than what it sort of, meets the eye. Model Y, I'm expecting a relatively large May and an even bigger June and July. So thousands of orders will be fulfilled pretty quickly. So that's sort of the background of the Tesla story.
Thanks, Riz. That's a good summary. I agree. I think there's a lot of pent up demand for the Tesla Y, and yeah, 3. I mean, you'd expect that to be buoyant a little bit, but yeah, it's still down. But as you said, maybe shipment is coming as well for 3s. Roland, I mean, looking around Sydney, does this kind of reflect what we're seeing on our roads? What do you think?
I have definitely seen a lot more Sea Lion 7s on the road and quite a few EV5s upcoming. I don't think I think realistically in the hills, the Model Y is still definitely the car that's dominating the entire hills area. Like a short drive, 5 minutes down the road, I guarantee you'll see minimum 5 in a short 5 minute drive easily. But definitely like the top numbers that you've got there, quite a few of those cars definitely popping up. Especially the Sea Lion 7, as you can see, that's number 1. I used to see a lot of Sea Lion 6s actually before the 7 was even announced, and actually they seem to, thinking about it now, they seem to have dropped off. So it kind of makes me wonder, like how are the sales doing there, and have people actually traded them in for the 7s?
Well, very good point there. So one thing I will note is that April was the first month where plug-in hybrid exemption was gone. So the Shark sales, for example, dropped to just above 1,200. I think I covered it somewhere in this article. So, and there were a total of 2,600 FEVs for the month, which is like a sharp decrease over what was happening prior to
A shark
the
culling.
So nearly half of those sales were the BYD Shark. I guess even with the exemption for FEVs gone, I think Shark's still going to do relatively better than, let's just say, Sea Lion 6. But Sea Lion 7, of course, is taking that over. The question is, what happens after these first couple of months? Because once you get rid of the pent-up demand, and then you've got everyday punters that are just saying, hey, will I pay 55 grand for a Shark? Will I pay, not for a Shark, for a Sea Lion 7, Xpeng G6, the new Model Y, which is just a little bit above that. It's about 58,000. I will say I got to spend a little bit of time with the Model Y rear-wheel drive today, and it's blown my mind. I thought the all-wheel drive was like they've done an incredible job at that, but the rear-wheel drive, it's a really, really good buy, because what the all-wheel drive does, this thing does nearly as well at everything. It has more power with the new motor in the back, and it feels like a hot hatch if you want it to feel like a hot hatch around mountain roads. And you can get it back to a standard vehicle, but that's all to do with suspension. So I think Tesla's put quite a bit of engineering effort into it. Whether we will see, tens of thousands of sales, that's to be seen in Australia, because there's a lot more competition with Sea Lion 7, G6, I don't know, even the Deepal SO7, and just a whole lot more coming in. But the Model Y, for anyone that's interested, even if it's just for fun, worth test driving in the coming weeks. I think they're doing test drives nationwide now. So definitely worth test driving. And I think, Roland, as you were saying earlier, we will see both Sea Lion 7, Model Y, Geely, and all of these cars, a lot more of them. We will get past 10% by July, August.
Yeah, I agree, Riz. The Model Y, the new one, I had a short drive of it a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it is night and day between the old and the new. Obviously, being a Y owner currently, it's smooth. It's smooth as silk. We went through all the old roads that we do every day, and it's just unbelievable. The suspension, they've definitely fixed it. It's a very smooth ride at the moment, so it's good. Yeah, seeing a lot more C-Line 7s, as Roland said as well, on our roads in our part of Sydney, and a lot more EV5s, which is good, surprising but good. I've actually got an EV3 at the moment for review, so stay tuned, everyone. Give it a few days. I should be able to post one for you guys. And yeah, Geely X5, surprising, hasn't been boosted too much, but I think, give it a few more months, people will see that value in that car come through too. Riz, no Xpeng G6 starter as yet in this list?
So, no, and I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're working on how they will distribute it. But another exclusive for the Ludicrous Feed crew here. I've done a bit of data crunching, and we have just shy of 500 sales in the first 4 months for the G6 across Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, and WA. So all the major sort of population hubs. We just don't have the data in Tassie. We don't have the data in Northern Territory. But if you look at that and you think that that would be about at least 90% of the market, right? Those major population hubs, you're looking at maximum 550 cars across the country in the first 4 months. I think that car can do a lot better than that. But, obviously we've seen the popularity at the Xpeng stands, at Everything Electric, at Melbourne EV Show, Melbourne Motor Show. We're seeing like so many people interested in that car, but maybe they're still making up their mind, waiting for the new Model Y, test driving that, waiting for the C-Line 7, test driving that, and then sort of making up their mind as to what they want. But the choice is definitely there now. So 500 to 550 Xpeng G6s in the first 4 months of this year. I personally feel they need to be hitting close to 250 to 300 cars a month at the very least, if this is going to be a good long-term venture.
Yep.
Yeah. And maybe it'll happen with Xpeng bringing the Mona and G9 and some of the other models into the market, but that's where we are with G6.
Yeah, I agree with. Good point. I reckon now that the Model Y is being delivered very shortly, mum and dad and everyone else can now test the new Y and think, okay, that's the benchmark. Can I live with an Xpeng? Can I live with a C-Line 7? So once that demand goes, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those figures, play out in the next few months. So yeah, good point. No Zeekr X. I think that's the other one I'm thinking of. Not many numbers there, I think.
Yeah, they just didn't make the top 12 or 15 or whatever is here. I think they were sitting at just shy of 50 from memory. I'll have to double check that, but and Smart is not reporting either. So Smart is done through LSH Group, and from memories, I don't think they're doing more than 100 units a month.
Any info on Leapmotor C10s?
Yeah, C10 had a reasonable month. I can't remember the exact. It was under 100, but I think they're doing a reasonable job. They've obviously got an E-Rev they're launching, and I got to actually sit and spend a bit of time in the Leapmotor B10, which is the smaller version. For the price that it's selling at in China, which is round about 21 or 22,000 Australian dollars. It's an incredible car. It's like literally a steal. And they also, Leapmotor has just announced their sedan, which is supposed to maybe compete with, it's not as big as a BYD Seal. It's maybe a little bit smaller than a Model 3. But that's going to be priced at maybe 20,000 Australian dollars, full BEV.
Wow.
So a brand to watch out for. I don't know whether they will actually bounce in Australia with just the C10, but time will tell. So hopefully when they'll bring more models in, people have more choices.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the Leapmotor stand in Shanghai. It was huge. It was bigger than I thought, and lots of models too in China. So yeah, I reckon watch Leapmotor. That could be a dark horse in the coming months if they can get some good product out here. Let's take some. Oh, actually, one more comment. Polestar 4. I'm very happy to see 124 sales. I do like that car. That's my little Yeah, a little. It's good. It's a good car. Check out my review if you want to have a look, everyone.
Roland, what car would you like to see on here? Like, let's just say, give it 3 months' time, 6 months. We know it has to be performance focused, high end, sort of, track focused car. What would
Top
you
spec.
like to see on the top? Yeah, top spec. What would you
Top
like to
spec
see
with
on that list?
top spec with a top list, huh? You know what?
Yeah.
I want it. I want that 007 GT here.
Yes.
Hey,
I want that
Zika
wagon.
Australia.
Bring it.
If you're listening,
Zika
Roland spoken.
Australia. Yes, I've told
Bring it.
Andrew that.
Good.
But on the note of Xpeng, actually, I've read, and I think there was someone that's mentioned it in the comments as well, because I'm on one of the Facebook groups for Xpeng. I think they're genuinely having a lot of supply issues because there's lots of frustrated owners or potential owners that are actually posting, or posting their frustrations around no communication from people there, like as in from Xpeng. So like there's people that have been waiting since like February, so that's almost 3 months, borderline 3 months, and they've had no response, or they've been promised a car when they ordered in February for March. They've heard nothing. And there was one today, I forgot which Facebook group it is. I'm literally in all the Facebook groups. And
Looking for the
someone
top
said,
spec cars, of course.
looking exactly
Facebook Marketplace.
that. Anywhere to bring you guys the news here. But one of them said that it was either BYD or Xpeng couldn't get them a car because of lack of communication. Then they went to Geely. There was an EX5 and they signed for it. They got it 2 days later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That Geely
that's
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Such good value. Sorry, Riz, go on.
No, but that's right, Tom. Like, that's painting a picture, right? So in 3 months' time, what we see is BYD will have stock. Xpeng is bound to have stock because then actually, Roland, while you're there, I sort of do a little bit of top spec hunting myself on some of those Facebook groups every now and then. And I saw that someone had posted that one of the dealerships, Coburg, I think, that Xpeng has in Melbourne, apparently had 11 randomly rock up and they didn't have a buyer for them. So they were listing the salesperson's number on the Facebook group to say, hey, ring this person. And I was like, cool. There's some stock. Some people will be very happy with that. But where did this randomly 11 these cars appear from if there is such a big shortage or whatever's going on? Then the other part about this situation is what is going to happen with this? Tom, we saw the 2025 G6. There are changes to it. Where is that swap over? What's going to happen? So what are people waiting for? So if people are waiting for 3 months, assume that 3.5 months later the car rocks up. And then the next batch after that is a brand new one. They will feel a bit shattered. So
people are feeling
it's
shattered
a
already.
juggling.
It's going to happen, right? Unfortunately, like we know, Riz, we've been to Hong Kong, we've seen the G6. It's in my video, right? You know it's coming. You're right. Like 6 months' time, it'll be here, and these cars may not even be delivered yet. So we need some communication from True EV, definitely.
So there is. Look, obviously we want that brand to succeed as well because the value, what you get in that car, also the Mona, which is such a highly kitted car. It's not top spec, but it's highly kitted for sort of most people's needs, right? They've got all this product, amazing stuff, and they're kicking some real goals globally. We saw that. I really hope that these teething issues sort of disappear because what will happen in 3 months' time? Dealers will have stock on the EX5. There'll be a lot more specials. C-Line 7, I think they will need to eventually cut prices because once you get past your early adopters, you're just not going to have that momentum if you want to keep your sales up. Geely EX5, as you're saying, Roland, people can already pick it up in a couple of days' time. And we're going to have a whole lot more models coming into our market. MG S5, we will probably touch on it a bit later in the live stream, but pricing is announced. They will have MG never has a shortage of stock. So they're just pumping them out in Shanghai, and we're going to be seeing quite a lot of that stuff on top of everything else in the market. So in 3 months' time, if if these brands haven't got their ducks in a row, there's gonna be consumers will have too much choice, and they will lose their business.
Yeah, I think we'll see end of financial year very soon. I think we'll be seeing some discounts for sure. So maybe that's what people are waiting for. Like, people are quite savvy now. They know discounts are coming, right? And yeah, I think, it's crazy, right? As you know, guys, China time, it'll just keep coming. So there'll be plenty of stock. Whether you want to pick one up, an old G6, for example, versus a new G6, there'll be a discount there. So yeah, looking forward to seeing all that unfolding in the next year or so. Just let's take some comments from the audience. Thanks everyone for all your inputs so far. That's great. I think I can see Andrew from Zika. Here we go. Andrew, a couple of 007,
Hi,
well,
Andrew.
3 007 GT fans, right now on the stream, and lots more on the chat too. So bring that to Australia, please. That'd be good.
This could be the 007 GT show. Just saying.
Do it. Let's do it. Special spin-off.
It could be. It could be Ludicrous Feed presented by Zika 007 GT.
That's right.
Speaking of the 7 GT, quickly before we go on the comments, I know that on the Zika page, there is so much interest on the Zika 7X. So I think in the next couple of months, assuming it's here by end of year, that's another one to add to the list.
Yeah, good point. As a mid SUV person says, adds 4, waiting for the Xpeng G9 and the Zika 7X to arrive. Yep. Hopefully they bring their chargers with them too, Zika, so we can charge them quickly.
My personal opinion is the 7X is an incredible car. Like, the G9 is nice if you wanted a Range Rover, but the 7X it's the car. Like, it has this incredible battery tech, so much comfort. It's, and it just looks cool. Like, it has that tough stance. A lot of tech in that car. A lot of interest. We've seen it at the shows here. People are looking at the Zika product and they're really excited, but they're saying we want the 7X. So when that drops, I think they've had the European unveil and they've had their test drives just before the Shanghai show. So second half of this year is going to be pretty huge for Zika.
Yeah. Look, having been to Shanghai, I can honestly say Zika do design very well. I've seen all the cars on the floor, or a lot of them, and Zika's it's a standout. They do design very well. 007 GT, 7X, even the Zika X, they do it very, very well. So that's where I think they gain marks for me. William saying Tom Bond, 007 GT. I'm happy with that nickname. That's cool. Bring it. Ludicrous GT. Love it. Is Deepal selling at all, Riz? Yeah, any numbers there?
If they were significant, I would remember, but I guess they're not.
Dear.
So
Answers that
I don't
question.
know what's going on. They're supposed to get the software update, right? I don't know if it's happened or not. That's one thing. SO5 coming in third quarter. EO7 coming in third quarter. The EO7, the Ute hybrid thing, it's an interesting concept. I don't know how many people will spend 65 plus grand on that car.
Now, Terry's saying waiting for the Radar R6. So check out my Inside Geely video. Joy and I walked through the Radar R6. So not a bad vehicle. It's probably just personally looks a bit basic compared to the Shark 6, for example. It looks more like a sort of a standard conventional Ute on the inside. But hey, if that comes here, it's a full EV. So yeah, by all means, hopefully Geely bring that over. Right, so let's quickly just say thank you to our sponsors for tonight. Sorry, before we get to that. Hang on. Here we go. So thank you to mycar, thank you to Hankook, and thank you to Carloop as well. Thanks for sponsoring the channel. Those 3 sponsors. All right. Now, Riz touched on the MG. We did touch on this briefly last week, but it might be worth revisiting once again. So, MG S5 EV, which was on display at the Melbourne Motor Show recently, $40,000 they're asking for before on road. So $44.90 just to add to the mix. That's the 49 kilowatt hour variant. A little bit small compared to some of the other cars you saw on that list before, but for a $40,000 price, not bad. I think this will play in the same space as the Geely EX5, which I think has a 60 kilowatt hour battery, but similarly priced. MG, as Riz said, a lot of stock. And rear-wheel drive as well compared to EX5, which is front-wheel drive. So that's probably the differentiator. But I think, gents, I don't know if you agree, but I think the interior of the Geely probably pips this one, but that's very subjective.
Mm.
Yep.
The infotainment as well, the infotainment unit. I think it's a step up over the MG4 in the S5, but I think they could have done a little bit more, which the EX5, that Fly Me system that Geely has in there, it's pretty nice. It's very close to the BYD, or dare I say, like sort of the Tesla large screen interface, which I think you're going to miss if with this S5. But it has the pros of 10-year warranty, 10-year warranty
Yep.
on MG cars. That charge hub that they're giving away to the first 500 customers, I don't know what's going on, but it seems that these charges that manufacturers are throwing in, they somehow keep like adding multiples with whatever the value of that charger is. Remember, Luke Todd came out with BYD,
Yes.
and he had the $500 charger, and the same charger they're giving with their cars when they're doing a promo, and it's worth like $3 million.
Yes.
So I'm like, guys, you can't say that it was $500 and then all of a sudden call it $999. That's what the value the customer is getting, and it's
Yeah.
no installation either. So anyway, just my 2 cents on the charges being added to these deals to make them feel more than they are.
As a famous retailer once said, never pay full price, right, guys? So 1,001 is
Sure.
probably worth about 700.
Surely someone's got a $888 value on.
Oh, correct.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's the only price. Let's take some comments. So Kenny Obi says, I was at the Shanghai show, spoke to someone senior at Zeekr, and he said he was doing the paperwork for both 7X and 007 GT. 7X in October and 07 GT in December. Do you mean the China domestic market or Australia? I presume you mean China domestic, but we'll see.
I assume that would probably, and once again, others can confirm or deny this, but I'm assuming if he's talking the 7 GT in December, it's probably Australia or international markets, because the GT is available in China now.
Fantastic. Hey,
Cross
that could be a
our
nice
fingers.
Christmas present. Correct, Roland. I'm with you. I'll get the basic spec. Roland will get the Roland spec. We'll do a comparison.
There's only one option. How much does it start at?
That's right.
The top figure.
Too funny. Yes, lots of 7X fans. That's good. Yeah. Hey, Scotty, nice to see you. Oh, said hi to Riz, said Kenny Obi. Must have bumped into you. Yep. Murray S. Chinatime. Yeah, correct. I totally agree. Cool. All right. Let's keep pushing on. And now we talk about all these fast charging cars, but honestly, they need to bring their chargers to Australia. So we knew Xpeng talked about, I think they had one line in their slide about international chargers. Australia was there. It's going to come. No timeline, but hopefully they'll bring them here. Zeekr with their Zeekr Power. Hopefully they'll come here as well. What else? Riz, other brands.
So we have, so obviously the stuff that's confirmed or that is coming and is public news. GridServe out of the UK coming to Australia with Flow Power. That will happen. I know they're working on a few, they're working on some pretty major sites, which will be great to see. From a charging hardware point of view, saw StarCharge at the Shanghai Auto Show. They even had a V2G charger and a whole lot of other cool things going on there. Saw Huawei's, the 1.3 megawatt charging system. Having said that, in that second tier city that I was in last week, I went to HEMA, which is Huawei Intelligent Mobility Alliance. It's the cars that they're making with, I think, in partnership with Chery. And no, they don't look anything like Chery cars. These are
Thank
like
goodness.
near Rolls-Royce Spectre level, some of them. Very high end. Outside their dealership, they had, from memory, I think 12 Huawei chargers, each rated at 600 kilowatts.
Ooh.
This is just
Sweet.
outside some random dealership. It's not really central to anything. But that's what they have. So Huawei tech in China is sort of top notch when it comes to they're supporting their products. Same with Zeekr. Like Zeekr's, the Zeekr power network really does work, and it has amazing uptake. And I think Zeekr also had that at their stand in Shanghai. So the more manufacturers that can bring the charging products to Australia, the better. The only challenge is it is a very, very tough market. Charging is not easy, and we may touch on this before the end of this live stream, but there's a site that we have, one of our viewers has picked up in a town called Coolac. I thought it was Coolac in Victoria, but it's not. It's Coolac in New South. There it is. Amazing.
Yeah, good segue, Riz. Yeah, and I agree. I think, like we were stopping in just a random stop between Shanghai and Hangzhou, and there were like 26 different chargers, different brands. Like there was Li chargers and then another random brand I didn't know, and then another one too. So yeah, we need to get all these car companies set up in Australia just to make it easy for not just their own brand, but just for everyone in general. Because at the moment, as you can see, Tesla is running the show, right? And I'm glad they've got open access chargers. So if you don't have a car that can access Tesla chargers, then it makes your life a lot harder to road trip. So as Riz said, this is the Coolac Hotel. This is a great spot, by the way, because this is actually in Gundagai. So if this is open access, this will be a lot easier because at the moment between Yass and Albury, there's a bit of a dearth at the moment. It's hard to charge your non-Tesla. There's a Woolies and Yass, which is a bit slow, but if this can do 250s, if they're V4s, then this will be a great stop to. Hopefully, this pub will be set up as well, and yeah, ready to take Tesla and non-Tesla EV owners while they're charging.
I think this is great.
Exactly. Very busy pub.
Apparently, it hasn't been open for a while. Like they had some new owners, and now they're working on the Supercharger, the outside first, and then they'll redo the pub, and it should be open soon. Couple of quick things about this particular Supercharger site. And Tom, you and Roland, you guys probably have way more experience than I have at regional supercharging sites, but nearly 100 kilowatts of solar. Basically, a mega pack. Now, a bit of exclusive. There's an article that has just come up tonight by Giles on The Driven, which anyone that's interested, have a look. He's spoken to Tom Drew, the country manager, about this particular site. And I believe in that article, they say the 3.9 megawatt hour mega pack.
Ooh.
And I'm not a technical person, but apparently it's pretty big. So if that's what Tesla is doing to try and get chargers in the ground in regional areas where there is not a lot of power available, this is pretty exciting, which means they really want to step things up a bit. And this is what the new charging operators will need to do, because the sites will, with power, will already be taken up.
Yeah, I mean, if Coolac ends up being anything like the bistro in Yass, it's a great spot, by the way. The Yass Supercharger, that pub is fantastic. Really nice facilities. It looks like it's been done up recently. Great amenities as well. Great for like half an hour just to have a lunch. And same with the commercial club at Albury. So yeah, this is a good example of where it could work. So hopefully Coolac Hotel will be refurbed and it'll be a great spot to charge too. Yeah, it's sorely needed, that Gundagai pinch point, as someone said in the comments. I think Oliver's has got some ChargeFox NRMA chargers, which don't work half the time. That's being generous, but this will be a good spot for all EVs.
Is there like a V2 supercharger side of Gundagai?
Yes, there is behind the Oliver's, but it's not for all.
Oh,
it's
okay,
just
yeah.
only Tesla. Yeah. So this will be a good addition. Yeah, we've got to push on with Tesla. So this is very close to where I am, Balgowlah. So under construction, 6 stalls. I'm not sure if this is open access or not, but good to see them popping up all over Sydney as well. Good for, I guess Balgowlah is a bit denser, so there are apartments around that area and sort of more high density living. So yeah, people even in towns do need supercharging because there's no home charging sometimes. So good to see. And this, let's have a look. Where's this one? This is New Italy in northern New South Wales. I think that's on the north, very close to Coffs Harbour, I believe. If someone can correct me on the chat.
Yeah, it is somewhere up that way. But yeah, that's cool. Nearly done.
Yeah, that's great. Great to see everyone tagging us too on socials. Yeah, keep doing that, everyone. So we can amplify these on our stream. But
The
yeah,
more
another important point. Sorry, Riz.
that are all good, Tom. The more people, I mean, this is great, right? Because the more we can share and amplify this stuff, the more people are aware about it. So we, charging seems to be one of the main things that's stopping people from even thinking about an electric car. But the more they see this, the more they see us talk about it, and our family and friends and others, colleagues. It's just it's easy, and it's getting easier and easier every month.
Yep. I'm happy to stop talking about charging in Australia because that means that it's done. At the moment, it's not done, so that's why we keep having to talk about it. But yeah, I'm waiting for that day. Roland, talk us through this one. So, evolving supercharger pricing. What's going on here for Tesla?
So Tesla's published an article. So if you scroll further down, they've basically gone through a timeline of how they've evolved from your traditional charger. So obviously they've done things. So if you keep it where the screen is there, you'll see roughly 2020 they started peak charging, off-peak charging, which means you had different pricing. Then you go down to 23 where they've got congestion fees, which some people may be aware of. And now they're actually, I think they've got enough data now. So they're going on peak and off peak pricing based on live supercharger utilization rather than their guesstimates. So basically it's just taking it to the next level, meaning at certain times you'll have the chance to still get better pricing as opposed to just what they thought initially. And it's still a small scale, that last line item there.
No, makes sense.
Sorry.
Makes sense, right? I mean, charge what the power is, the wholesale price of power at the moment, like Amber. And I like this point too. You'll always see the price before your session begins, and prices do not change mid-session. Can you imagine if it fluctuated as you were charging? That wouldn't be very good, right? So I'm glad they put that there. Yeah, I mean, on our road trip to Melbourne, we were paying like 79 cents for the BYD C-Line 7 at the Supercharger, without the Tesla membership, of course. Look, it's a bit high, but I'm happy to have, a charge is better than no charge at the moment. So, as we say, if more charges come online, then yeah, at least there'll be competition with pricing. So, yep.
Look, a friend of the show, Mark Lampard, he's currently in the UK having a look at charging networks that they've got and the pricing, and around Europe as well. In Germany, I think he's in Munich now. The pricing there is just crazy, like 80 pence a kilowatt hour. And in China it's like more like 8 pence a kilowatt hour for fast charging. So it's so interesting how dynamic it is, but it's really good to see Tesla being very transparent around their pricing. I feel, and this is just my view on this, I feel ChargeFox, EV Networks, and some of the other networks that are they haven't always been very transparent around pricing, because what they do is they say, oh, the cost to supply is going up, so here's another 10 cents. That 10 cents per kilowatt hour is, just random. Like, don't really explain why and how. Where I've seen superchargers where you can go at after 11 p.m. Not that I'm not suggesting people do, but if you do, you can get like half price charging. Like it's usually 60 or 65 cents, and you can get it at 32 cents a kilowatt hour. That's how they're moving demand around so that people are not all rocking up at the same time. Plus, as we've learned, they're doing so many other things, and they're evolving that system and making sure that people are aware that what they're paying, how much, at what time, all of those things just build confidence in EV charging.
Yeah, I felt the brunt of the UK pricing when I was there last year. It was like 80 pence, 70 pence.
Jeez.
But the superchargers were cheaper. It was like 20, 30 pence. So big discrepancy at the moment. So it's weird. Thanks everyone for telling us where New Italy is. So I think it's just north of Grafton, I believe. CamS is saying it's 250 kilometers from Brisbane. Here we go, above Grafton, near Evans Head. Thank you, Jason. And where is it? I saw here Steve saying New Italy, a little north of Tyndale, so will be a great spot. Power outage today, so not far off. Okay, good. New Italy is between McLean and Knockrow. Oh, okay, I know where the McLean Supercharger is, just near that bridge. Great spot. So, yep, good to see that being open access as well. Excellent. Fantastic. New South Wales co-funded. Good. So that'll be open to all, as will Balgowlah as well. Thanks, Richard. Much appreciated. Thanks. See, we learn a lot, don't we, Riz and Roland, from the show, from you guys just posting stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
Two-way, bi-directional learning, I always call it. It's good. Now, just some more chargers, but not Tesla branded, which is good. So Aaron Crofts in Queanbeyan, which is still New South Wales, but very close to Canberra, this week, and found these. It's gone from a charging desert to good choices in both fast charging and public destination charging in 1 year. NRMA have stepped up their game. So he's found some 360 kilowatts and 180 kilowatt fast chargers under the NRMA brand, which is really good. So just in time for the Zika 007 GT and 7X and X-Plane G6 refresh. Thanks, NRMA. Now, what brand of this? That is a
ABB.
ABB. Sorry.
I think.
What's this one?
Uptronic.
No,
I'm trying to think. Is it Uptronic or is it Schneider? Oh yeah, it's one of the European ones.
Yep. And add a backup redundancy AC as well, which is really good. These are important, by the way, in case those ones go down. It's great. Some more pictures. Across the car park, a bank of some more AC chargers too. It's great. What a great spot. Lots of charging. Beautiful. Excellent. Well, it might be worth another trip to Canberra to check these out. Yeah. Cyn XL, maybe. Cool. All right, great. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Yeah, keep showing us those chargers. And we did touch on this, Riz, I think late last year. Some clever EV owners rigging up their own sort of fix for the Atto 3s who can't charge at Tesla Superchargers. Here's a message back and forth on PlugShare. Message about your check-in at Parks New South Wales says your 2023 Atto 3 have a hardware fix for the new Tesla Superchargers. This person said, no, I built an adapter to enable charging at Tesla V3, V4, and the adapter details are on the Open Inverter org forum. I think we touched on this last year.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
I'm not smart enough to do it myself, but if you know a thing or two about charging plugs, then yeah, have a look, I guess. If you want to rig up your own adapter for those poor Atto 3 owners who can't charge at Tesla Superchargers. Still no word, right, Riz, on that front, unfortunately?
No, nothing. I think last I heard is we're still investigating, but yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a few on AliExpress. We don't recommend that, but
no.
Just keep. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate.
Now, bit better news, well, potentially better news. After the federal election, Anthony Albanese may be ditching the luxury car tax, Roland. That's good news for you, top spec, Roland.
Good news for anyone who's impacted by that. Not only top spec, but yes, absolutely. It's going to cut the cost by so much. But I guess the flip side is, where is the money going to come from? Like, they've been getting the money for so long. They're going to do something. And yeah, there's going to be something else. It's going to move into something else for sure.
Yeah.
But it's good news, I guess, nonetheless, because it takes away the initial purpose for creating that tax, which, in case anyone wasn't aware, it was only to protect local manufacturing. And we haven't had local manufacturing for many years now. Correct.
Not since 2016, I think I want to say, since the Elizabeth plant in South Australia closed for Holden. I've seen that threshold go up over the years. I think it was more like 70,000 when I first looked into EVs back in 2016 when I had my Model S. And now it's like 90, I think. But still, if you're buying $100,000 car like the Cyberster, which I reviewed recently with Joy, then you are subject to that. So yeah, good to see this go. Yeah, but it's been a free ride for the government, right? I guess. So yeah, what is it? $5.2 billion annual luxury car tax revenue?
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy. So I'm glad most of the EVs in that list we spoke about earlier, the EV sales list, probably aren't subject to the luxury car tax. Even the top spec, right? I joke, but it's maybe the Polestar 4 that might be subject to it.
Yeah,
the top spec. Yeah, but luckily most of these should be under that threshold anyway. Here's a thought: Tassie Thylacine saying they should keep the luxury car tax, but not on EVs. Yeah, that'd be Nice little tax on ice cars. The Spectre. That's true, Riz. That'll affect you, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm exploring my Huawei options. The Maxtro S800 and every. I mean, Tom, I know this is not a full EV, but has anyone seen the Zeekr 9X?
No. What's that?
This thing is, it's got a label. It's called the Hangzhou Cullinan. So Hangzhou is where Geely and Zeekr are based. Now this is, I believe, a plug-in hybrid, but just look at it.
It does. Actually, that was on stage at the Zeekr stand in Shanghai. That was on the front and center at the Zeekr store.
It was.
Yeah. Scrub through my video, you'll see it. Yes, that's what I was wondering what that was. So there you go. It's a plug-in hybrid.
Just look at it. Like it's just blows your mind. Like, so yes, Albo, get rid of the luxury car tax because we need the 9X here.
Look, this is sacrilege, but I don't like the look of the Cullinan, to be honest. It looks a bit too beefy for me. I like the Spectre and the Ghost and the Phantom. They're nice. Maybe not so much the Cullinan. But hey, beggars can't be choosers, so I'll take anything at this stage. Now, Roland, another one. Renault opens orders for EV with eye-watering price. What's this one? Renault 5 Turbo SE.
So it's the Renault Turbo 5 Turbo 3. It's a mouthful to pronounce. Basically, they're reviving this car. They said that the car was going to look like that. They've updated some of the specs, which is still somewhat impressive specs for the car. And it supposedly will look like that, but there's only going to be, I think, 1,500 total. The first 500 were already gone. The next 500, as we're looking at it now, the orders have gone. But there's a calculation that puts somewhere there, which means, like, if you do the conversions, if you were even able to get an order in, yeah, that last line there, north of $300,000. Like,
Wow.
That's
They can't be serious.
crazy. Yeah, like that looks like it was some university student's first year design project gone wrong. But having said that, at the Neo stand in Shanghai, they had the Firefly, which is the new electric hatchback. They had done like some special edition with this huge fairings and body kit and all of
Big
that.
lip.
That's right. That's legit. So this is legit as well.
Yeah, look, I don't mind a track car but honestly, looking like that, that's weird, right? I'll just say it outright. Like the Megane E-Tech wasn't bad actually to drive, but yeah, this is next level.
You're never gonna see. You won't see that on the roads. It's a collector's car. You'll get pinched up by all of the investors, and it'll just sit in a museum somewhere. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I'll have to go visit Riz to check it out in his museum next to the Spectre.
It will happen. You just walk past the planes that I've got in there.
The Bonza fleet. The plane graveyard. Oh well, okay. Well, to each their own. All good. If you want to buy that car, no worries. And look, a truck EV spotted on ADRs. Thanks, Roland.
There's a couple of variants. As I've said there, no truck expert, so someone can chime in, but it just seems like the variations are different wheels. So I think it's the back where some have 2 tires, 4 tires. Presumably, it just means you can carry more. But it's definitely not the first truck that's been approved. I've seen IKEA trucks around, and I think some Woolworths trucks are electric as well. But look at the size of the battery, 600 plus kilowatt hours.
Yeah, so that is typical for. I think this has a gross vehicle mass of 30 plus ton. 29 ton for some variants and 32 tons for others. Not bad. For comparison, Tesla Semi is sitting around 750 kilowatt hours. And obviously the Tesla Semi is more like a bullet train in its design compared to the brick that we have here. Having said that, that's how trucks are in Europe. So Volvo's got a couple. this is one of the very few ones that we've seen. Last year, I got a chance to sit in a short test ride in a car park of a brand called Windrose. It looks very much like Tesla Semi. It has a 729 kilowatt hour battery pack, and it has gross vehicle mass, I think, of up to 42 ton. So these are huge. These are getting big. So yeah, really good pickup, Roland, on Scania doing some interesting stuff. Anyone that's interested, I think the Brisbane Truck Show is on this month, and this Scania, along with other electric options, will be on show in Brisbane.
I got to sit in a semi-looking thing in Hangzhou at Geely HQ. They had a semi with like it was a big cab that had they had beds, they had a little table. Looks like a camper van at the back, so you could do long distance with that definitely. So that was good fun.
Easy.
Very high as well. Good to check out. Yes. So yeah, Tassie EV saying, I think Volvo's bringing some of their Class 8 EV trucks, the ones that Tobias Electric Trucker drives. Yep.
Ooh.
Cool. Terry had an issue with letting go of the charger in his seal last week. Sorry to hear that, but yeah, there is a release cable in case that happens. It does happen. I've seen actually someone happen to someone when I was at a charger once. Had to help them out with that. Yeah, Jason say Homer Simpson designed car for the Megane. Sorry, not Megane, the Renault.
The Renault.
Let's put that up again. Just why not? There it is. That might be fun for a day, maybe. Yeah, let's go. Finally, oh, that's the last article. Okay, good. All right. Well, that's it, everyone. That's it for today, I guess. So, yeah, thanks for joining us. That's great. 156 at the end of the stream. So, Riz, great to have you back. Thanks for joining us again.
No worries at all. Thanks, Tom, Roland, everyone for joining. It's good. There's just so much happening all at the same time, and I think we're going to see some pretty reasonably high numbers for EV sales in the coming months. Like I said, we want every brand to succeed, and we want more chargers in the ground, just so people can finally see that, hey, this is not something from the future. It's happening now.
Yeah, correct. Yes, lots of options for sure. Thank you, Roland, from Zapped AU YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to Roland's channel. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. And I just did count. We're about 7 weeks to end of financial year. So cue all the sales to come in.
Absolutely. Bring it on. Bring it on. Can't wait. And yes, like I said, EV3 test drives on the channel, and we'll try and get an EX5 as well. Trying very hard to get a press car for you guys. That might be worth a long trip, I think, just to drive somewhere to check out the range and the comfort and all those things. So yeah, stay tuned. And of course, check out Roland's channel. And yeah, thanks again to Riz. So thanks everyone, and have a great night. We'll see you all next week on the show. Bye now. Take it.
Thanks all.
See ya.
See ya.